Howdy ho, everyone, and welcome aboard. This is Learn to Trade live and free. And this is Jeff coming to you live from Tasmania in Australia, down near the bottom of the planet. Oh, sorry, the world. I suppose it's the planet, isn't it? It'll do for now. And actually, he'll be joining me very, very shortly from a place far, far to the north of me. Actually, he's not in Brighton. He's on a farm somewhere, and he's going on excursion today. But he did say pop into the UK session and say g'day. I'm just waiting to confirm that we are indeed going live to YouTube, because at this very point in time, I don't see that, but it is a delay thing. It looks like it's coming up now, so we could be okie dokie. I'll just double check that, and yes, we're good to go. Okay, as I say, welcome aboard. It's good to have you with us, and this being the final UK session of the week, be nice to make some money out of it, wouldn't it? As always, it's always nice to get something in the bank near the end of the week. Hi, Crystal, how you doing? Righto, what are we doing? We are going to have a look at the pound US dollar breakout trade. That's what we'll do first up. And we may not have a lot of time to get into this today because it is a very tight range that we see. Here is the range of the last three bars, hourly candles, 1, 2, 3, right there. So the range is a mere 15 pips. Ouch. It ain't a lot. I've got the short entry already on the chart there. That shouldn't change in the next 3 minutes, one wouldn't think, but it looks like the long entry will, and so will the stop loss on the short. So that will actually change, because this is the low candle that will be trading short, or the low of the lowest bar, if you like. It's also going to be the high of the highest bar by the look of it. So we'll be trading this bar as a breakout, as it would appear at this very point in time. We can't do a lot because we're very, very close to that top there. And I actually will need, as I said, to change the stop loss on this, which was 132.14. And now it may be just a little bit more than that. Still the case at the moment, but it looks like this is going to take out that high. So we'll have to wait for a couple of minutes before we actually action that. Now, as I said, you're going to have to be pretty quick if you want to follow this one. And I will repeat, as I do every day, that this is in beta test mode. Do not put any meaningful money on this particular trade, because we haven't proven it yet. In fact, we're still trying to get it right. And until we do, and I'll tell you when we do, we will be very, very cautious in how much we stake on this particular scenario. G'day, Sina. G'day, Alan. G'day, Shukri. How are we doing, guys? Hope everything is well where you are. Certainly it's well where I am. I've got about another hour and a half, and I'm actually going out for dinner with some friends. I will have one glass of wine, promise, at dinner, and that's it. Mike, you can't hear me? Really? Crystal, you can't hear me. That's interesting. Okay. I don't know why that is. Can you hear me now, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you can hear, but very soft. Okay. Was fine earlier, barely. What the hell's going on? I haven't done anything. Let me see if my control panel can assist. Mic broken. I don't know. Speakers. That's not what I want. I want playback device. Just hang on 2 secs, guys.
Right, I think I'm in. I think I am in, and I can see.
Right, I think I'm in.
Yeah. Okay. So Jeff's having a few issues, so I'm just going to take screen. You guys can see me, hear me all right? No problem, no problem. Jeff's having a few sound issues, so I will take screen. Hold on a second. Here we go. Now, we obviously know that that today is going to be a bit of a tricky one because we've got the Fed chair out later. We've got the Jackson Hole symposium virtual. So there's lots and lots going on. I think we got a tricky market to maybe get in a position early doors, but there's some really interesting things out there. I think the silver and gold scenario is always going to be interesting. I've still got this euro marked off against the pound. It depends what you got, Crystal. It depends what you got. What are you holding? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Sometimes, yes, you do need to kind of clear the decks before something like that because it can jerk things around. But then there's other times that that it's actually better just to leave it where things are. So it really depends on what you've got, and it also depends. And I'm not saying that you would have planned it this way, but let's say you've got a long in the pound dollar, but you are short euro dollar. Then the move should counteract each other for any danger, too much danger. So in that kind of scenario, then no. But it really does depend on what you're holding it. If you are really exposed in one direction, then and if you get a dollar spike and you are effectively short dollar by being long gold, long euro, long pound, then it would probably be wise to not necessarily close positions. Closing positions is a little bit final, but certainly easing back on risk is a good idea in this kind of thing. And it really does come down to what's the projected volatility in this kind of scenario, and the projected volatility in something that is going to be, it's potentially going to be something significant, but it might be nothing. And that's sometimes the issue with these things, is that we kind of we get into a situation where the whole market is expectant on an announcement or on a specific statement and a specific stance, but then it really doesn't do anything. It really goes nowhere after it. So it'd be difficult to know. It would be really difficult to know, Crystal, without knowing firstly what you're owning, what you've currently got exposure to, and how much exposure you have to it. It's a very difficult thing to answer. But if you are uncomfortable by being on one side of the argument right now, by having lots of longs in the dollar, and you have quite a lot of exposure in percentage terms of your account, then my suggestion would be half your positions. Leave things where they are. Try and stay in if you can, but half your positions, and what that will do is just free up your margin just a little bit, and it will also just cut back on the risk. But it keep you interested. So I would certainly kind of leave things on where they are if you can. Now, euro pound, sorry, very, very interesting what's happened to the price action recently. This is a daily chart, and we have managed to now break down. And even if we loosen up this trend line a little bit, which I wouldn't be that keen on doing unless maybe it's there. But either way, we are certainly through this point now. So a swing back into the trend line would technically speaking potentially promote some more selling. And we've seen this really over the course of the last few months, where the euro has not been able to get through this particular level. Yeah, we can hear you there, Jeff, whistling away. I don't think it's too bad.
Okay, can you hear me loud enough?
I mean, I can, mate. Yeah, I think I could before though. Yeah,
but others can't. How is that even possible?
How's everybody else's sound? I mean, Jeff sounds pretty good to me.
Okay, well, I haven't changed the thing. I tried to, but I couldn't.
Yeah, no, it sounds all right, mate. It sounds okay.
Oh, okay, I'll relax then.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't,
yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't got much hair
yeah.
left, I can tell you.
Now
Soft.
you are in this, yeah, but only one. There's a loud and clear. LT saying loud and clear, and Crystal saying half as loud as Ash. And I think that there might be a, there could be a slightly different setting that one of us has got on than the other. But generally speaking,
Yeah, okay, I'll shout. I'll do
you
my
shout.
best.
I will whisper. Okay, no problem. I'll calm down a bit. You are in this anyway, mate, aren't you? This this pound
Euro
euro.
pound, we are in
Yeah.
Euro pound, and I have now taken another lot of profit and moved my stops to entry. So it's a winner.
Brilliant.
Finally, it's a winner.
Brilliant. That's really good. So we got Euro pound at a winner, and I think it could have a really interesting move ahead. I mean, I don't know how long you'd want to stay in this, mate, but there's a chance this could come right the way down to 84. I mean, there's a level of support right the way down there, isn't there, at 84? So you may well be in for a pretty good run down here.
Oh, I won't change anything now. Now that I've taken 2 lots of profit stops at entry, I'll probably stay in this for as long as it allows me. So yeah, I've got no target in mind at the moment.
No target in mind, yeah. So,
but I haven't had a look at it, so I'll have a look at it very shortly, and give you a potential target. But yeah, I'll be going to a support level, that's for sure. And let me see, the weekly chart's telling me at the very least 87, maybe even a little bit better. Yeah, 86.70, and the bottom of my range, which is my exit point normally, is around about 83.30 or 83.
Right.
So yeah, I'm happy to stay in there all that time if it goes.
Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good, mate. What else do we have here? So we got equities from what I can see here. Just cutting back as well. Let's just have a quick look at this. German, the DAX, just having a little bit of a rest, and no massive surprise really. Don't be surprised to see these equities sell off into the Jerome Powell speech. At least stay in the bottom end of their range. This is the FTSE 100s looking just a little bit weaker here. You got the S&P 500 just cutting back a little bit. These what's going on really with the futures value. That's just cutting back a little bit there, and the Dow as well. So don't be surprised to see some choppy price action, which doesn't really do a lot before that Jerome Powell speech. And you have to be looking at things like gold and silver as well. What's happening with those? Well, the broader picture on gold is for some further weakness, and the possibly some dollar strength is really what I would anticipate going into the Jerome Powell speech. You can see that this is right on top of the trend line, and it has started to cut back there. And same with silver as well. So silver's probably slightly healthier in many respects. So if we do get some weakness and some strength in the dollar, I'm really keen on continuing to look out for some silver and some cryptos, as you know. So I wouldn't suggest that we'll be doing a lot before that point, mate. I think that we've probably got a few hours to wait before we can action any decisions. I think taking shorts could be dangerous because you are fighting some of the longer term trends. But the only caveat to that is if you can get on a short high enough, then you might be able to trade it right into a long, which would cover. But you've got to get it high enough, and there might just be choppy enough price action to not give it enough value to do that. So I'm not sure if there's any potential opportunities for me this morning, but I don't know. Because of the potential choppiness, does that give you an opportunity? Does it kind of give the slingshot a chance of making some money early doors?
Yeah, as long as it's uniform, it's all about bouncing off levels as always. And if I get a nice level that says to me, okay, there's a level. Hey, can I wait 2 seconds? And I'll just place this pound trade, which I haven't been able to do.
Yeah.
And I'll pinch screen to do that. And I'll go to this screen. We're banging on entry really at the moment, or very, very close there too. You should have my pound US dollar screen up. There are the parameters around this one. As I said before, it is in beta test mode. Do not put meaningful money on this. This is not the time to be speculating on whether this is working or not, right? It's a test, and we've got to get it right before we declare that it's safe to trade. So I'll put the long in place first, which I haven't done yet. So buy stop at 132.14. This mightn't be a good day for a breakout either, although the range is extremely small. Stop loss is 131.98. And that's in the market. Now, TP1 on the buy is 1.3222. So that's what, 8 pips, which is half of the risk candle. Take half off the table at that level and move your stops 8 pips from entry at that point. The same, we're trading that bar because it is the entire range of those 3 bars. It's the reverse, of course, for the sell order. So it's a sell at 131.98. And the stop loss is 132.14. TP1 on this one, exactly the same will apply. We'll take 8 pips at TP1 and move our stops 8 pips from entry. And I haven't put a TP, I have put a TP2 in there, 131.66, which is actually double your risk candle, so 2 to 1. And that's the same in both directions. TP2 is not your target. TP2 is a scale out or take profit area. And we'll leave a little bit open to see if that breakout actually turns into a trend or a big move. Either one would be just fine for me. Okay, so that's it, mate. Sorry I interrupted you, but that is the pound US dollar breakout trade for today. And sorry about the false start, guys. I actually didn't change anything, so I don't know what was happening.
Yeah, I think it was just a bit crackly, but it sounded all right from my end, mate. I'll just give you a little update on what's going on. Actually, just with these stocks, it looks like some weaknesses coming into play here as some profit taking is probably the wise thing to do for some of these traders. I wonder whether we could get a small trade. I'm just going to check the barometers and see whether it's worth it.
Right, just before you do, if you want to take screen, I'll answer this question from Emmanuel.
Yeah, no, you go ahead. You go ahead. I'll have a quick look here, and then I'll take screen if necessary. Oh yeah.
Cool. So, pound CAD long is the question, and the answer that I have is I expect it to go to the top of the range, but as you can see, we are at a resistance trend line. We've got everything going here. We've had the double bottom, we've had a higher high, we've had a higher low, and now we're topping at this level. So we're having a brief pause, whether that is going to be sufficient to the trend line, that is, or trade line. It's also at DR1, so there's a confluence there, and there's also a horizontal level running through there. So I would expect this to peel off, if only for a short time. And if you're looking to enter, then probably the next bar would be the one to enter on, in my humble opinion. However,
sorry,
if the current bar is, well, I'm just about to say no to what I was about to say yes to. If the next or the current bar looked like that, for instance, then I would be interested in trading that.
Sorry,
you're right.
Sorry. I'll just grab screen one moment.
Yep. Go hard, mate.
Because there is a trade here. So let's have a look at this FTSE here. So going to take a FTSE trade here. Just going to ease in and sell it off here. Targets are going to be around about 40 pips below. So I can't really. I probably could write this up, but you got around about the 60.28, with a stop loss at the highs here at 60.56. Let me write this in. So 60.28. I'll have to do it on this. I haven't got my full system here, but let's do it like this. So it's a short, it's a sell. So FTSE sell at 60.28 with a stop loss at 60.56. And take profit areas are going to start down at, let me just check. 40. Looks like 59.85, but I will just double check that. You got about, probably got around about 40 pips down. I think we're aiming for the low, but I've just got to check it on another chart really quickly here. Yeah, I think we're going to be targeting maybe 59.90. Somewhere in that area. You know, these targets are always like, you know, quite soft targets, but let's put this up in white here. There you go. So yeah, so the sell is at 28, and the stop loss up at 56. So we're at about 32 pip stop loss. Sorry, 28 pip stop loss to the upside, and a near sort of 38 probably is a 38 pip target down the bottom. So slightly better than a 1-to-1, but sort of somewhere in between probably. But what we're doing is targeting this area down here. You know, where these areas down here lie, pretty much near the low here, not quite the low, but pretty close to the low, sort of down there. So that's the plan, and really this is a bit of a Fed play. You know, I'll be surprised if people were comfortable holding in to you know, with their positions here. Let's go down there. Oh, we'll put the stop loss up there. Yeah, I'll be surprised if there, you know, there are people holding that are comfortable holding into a Fed speech. So could come down, and you can. I'm off out later on, so I'm not going to be able to monitor this. But if I get the chance just to take a fraction off there, then I will. But it might well be that it's better just to kind of, you kind of want this closed up before the speech. You know, Crystal's asking about closing positions. You would want this closed up before the speech if possible. It would be a lot simpler if that was the case, just because you are not then trading into a bit of guesswork. Because for this to work out after the speech, it would suggest the tone of the speech would probably be for a strengthening dollar. And I would have thought that would probably put stocks in a bit of a sticky situation. So that's the plan with that one, mate. Just to kind of like take profit early. And
I like that strategy.
Yeah, and look at it as well. You know, this is really what we're aiming for. When you look at the 4-hour chart, we're just aiming for this support level here. And it could go down a little bit further, but if the speech has happened. If the speech is about to happen, then and it's close enough here, then I would be taking profit and moving those stops to break even, and then seeing if there is something left in the tank. You know, I'm hoping that I will be able to check the charts in between times, but just in case I'm not going to be around, the best thing for me to do is just put a target in, because I don't want a big bungee, and I'm not going to risk trading through the event before what if I'm not able to monitor. But if it comes down before I leave later on, then I'll just take something off the table here, put the stops at break even, and then hope that that there is some further downside going on here. But you never know. So that's the plan right now, mate. Just take profit early and see what happens, and see if we can get just a bit of an anticipation trade going on. I am seeing that barometers on the FTSE 100 are pretty weak. Around about 80% of stocks are in negative territory. The ones that are and the same with the DAX. Actually, I'm seeing around about 70% with the DAX are in negative territory. So looks across the board that we see some of those big guns in Europe in a little bit of trouble. The stocks that are doing pretty well at this current time are the likes of a couple of travel and leisure stocks are still doing pretty well. Some of the precious metals as well. But it's really across the board. No huge guns. I think interestingly, United Utilities, which is a water and defensive stock, actually doing okay this morning. But both Fresnillo and Polymetal from the FTSE 100 are both doing all right now. So heavier than it is light, and none of the real big guns are in that top group of stocks that are doing better than the others. And interestingly, I think some of the defensives are doing a little bit better this morning as well. So I think a fairly decent suggestion that we're going to see some downside this morning. Just a question of how far it comes down and whether there's a little bit of opportunity to take some profit a bit early.
Right, mate. You're off on a bivouac or something, did you say? Where are you off to this afternoon?
Oh, there's a really nice kind of I'm going to call it a canyon. My friend keeps describing it as Yosemite Park. The UK's version of Yosemite Park, so I don't know. I haven't really organised it.
I can't imagine there's too many geezers.
My friend's a bit of a geezer, but aside from that, I don't know. But there's apparently a bit of mountain climbing there. It does look quite a magnificent area to go and visit. So yeah, I'll be off there later, and Katy Perry, who you may or may not be aware of, I think she went on one of these holidays and she broke both her feet. So now I'm aware of that. I'm going to be taking it a bit easy as well.
Ah, that explains why she got pregnant. Got it.
Yeah.
Actually, she's about to have a child, I think, isn't she? Or has, or whatever.
I think so. So I'm off there later on. So the likelihood is I'll have little or no internet connection from up there. So
that's a bugger. Well, if Yogi and Bibu are around, just say good day for me, mate.
Yeah, just set some targets in, as well. That's another reason that it's worth setting targets in, because there's no way I'm going to have any speed to do anything later on. So it's probably better just to kind of take what's on offer.
Got it.
Set and forget, exactly.
Jay Chan, please. Why did you say that? Share Euro Kiwi. You know I'm in pain about that. I'm in deep pain about it.
Not going well, is it?
Oh, it's going marvelously.
Oh.
The only problem is I'm not in it.
Oh.
I've been spruiking it for a fortnight, and now here it is, and bang goes your mangoes. Oh my God. You know what? Well, I'm not going to blame anything. I'm not in it, but gee, I talk too much. I really talk too much. And sometimes when I'm talking, things happen, which is a bugger of a thing. Anyway, let's go back to pound CAD, and I'll finish that explanation. If you're done there, mate.
Yep. Done for now.
Rightio. Pound CAD. Let's go back there. And then I will talk about what's that called? Euro Kiwi. Oh. Pound CAD. We were talking about that, right? There's Euro Kiwi. So, as I was saying, we're at a bit of a confluence area here, and it is DR1, it is WR1, it is a horizontal level, it is a trend line. So to just jump in right now would be very difficult. That said, if this bar turned into an insurance bar, then that would be enough, that bar there. If that were to turn up here, then okay, I can be talked into trading it long there. But because we're at DR1, you just want to go in with a little bit of reduced risk. The other thing that is against you at the moment if you're trying to trade that, is the daily pivot, weekly pivot, and monthly pivot are all in a trio there. You can throw a blanket over them, or even a handkerchief maybe, but it'd be a blanket on a 30-minute chart. And that is terribly magnetic to price. If I go to, let's say, the hourly chart, you can see, to my mind, that the daily pivot has not yet been tested either. And someone will say, oh, yes, it has. There's a candle on the daily pivot. My contention there would be that price has not come to the daily pivot. The daily pivot has actually come to price. And if you see where that candle opened, it opened just below today's daily pivot. That, of course, was the gap that we saw overnight on pound CAD. Got no idea why, but there it is. And I'd be expecting this to bounce off this trend line and confluence area that I've just mentioned, and maybe even come back to the daily pivot. Then maybe I'd be looking for something like this. And I know I'm on a small time frame, but this will be relevant to any time frame. So under here, let me use a pen, make it a little bit more descriptive for you. Okay, so what I'm expecting here is a bounce. Now, where it goes to is obviously a great question. There in the first instance would be where I'd be expecting, but to trade it, the best case scenario for me here would be come down here, get at least under the daily pivot, better the monthly pivot, better all three, then finally come back and get above that trade line and retest it. Then I can look to go long. But I'd be looking to take profit at the high here, which is the high of the day as we stand. But the candle that's forming now is very, very interesting, as I said, and may well be worth a small stake because you are at DR1 and you'll be trading straight into it, and you've got an untested daily pivot. So it's a dangerous one. It's a high risk trade. But that is my analysis on pound CAD. Now, you wanted me to have a look at Euro Kiwi, so let's do it. And hang on, I'll just get myself a tissue, or maybe even two. And look, I've been banging on about this, as I said, for a couple of weeks, and it's based on these two candles here, not so much on that chart, but on the daily chart. And if you go into a big analysis on this, if you want to, where you've got this incredibly offset double top, then you've got a series of lower lows and lower highs, and now we rounded out, but came back to this level here. And as soon as I saw these two candles at that level there, that was enough for me to adopt a bearish attitude. Then we got the confirmation of that by a third rejection of this level. And then we got another one with a bearish engulfing bar. Then we got another one with a lower high. Now that's the candle that we should have traded, right, on Euro Kiwi. And had we done that, we would now be free trading because we'd be on maybe even TP 1.5. My chat is not updated. Chart is not updated. Okay, really? Euro Kiwi daily chart. It's moving, so it has to be updated. Yeah. What's the matter? Why is it not updated? Why do you think it's not updated? That's the 4-hour chart at the moment, and yeah, it's all good. I was just explaining to you why you should be in this trade, and I can't explain why I'm not, because the setup was there, and I've been banging on about it for 2 weeks. And even if you missed that entry, there was another entry to be had through here. And those of you in slingshot land will know my slingshot strategy will recognize that as a dominator trade. And that was your second opportunity to get back in, or to get into it. Where was I? Absolutely no idea, but I've missed it, and I'm pretty peeved about it, I've got to say. But, you know, it's just one of those things. There'll be another. And the next one was Aussie CAD. Seems like a double bottom on daily chart. Yep. Okay. Aussie CAD. I should have one of those charts somewhere. There it is. Oh, I obviously haven't looked at this for a little bit. Righto. Daily chart, sorry. Okay, the thing about double bottoms is that they have to be at the bottom. All good, Jay Chan. And to me, this really isn't at the bottom. And if I'm completely frank with you, I'm starting to see a beautiful setup for short here. And let me explain that to you. We have got a pretty clear, in my mind, and I should never say that because what's clear to me is not necessarily clear to anybody else. But to me, we've got a clear head and shoulders sitting there. Not only that, we've got a neckline through here that has been broken and retested. The current candle, and a bounce off the monthly pivot, I might add. The current candle is looking to retest the monthly pivot, sure, but I'd really like to see it come back here and retest that level. And it's there that I would be looking for a big move. Now, the move could be either way, don't get me wrong, but what we could see here is something like that, which would get the market interested. I'd rather see something like that, which would get me interested. But even so, when price does get to this level, I'll be on full alert because something's going to happen here. We're either going to take out these highs and nullify the head and shoulders, or we're going to confirm that that retest of the neckline is indeed valid at that level. And if that's the case, I expect we're going to see something down here. So there's a big reward available here if we can pay attention. I'm convinced that one of those two things will happen. We may go into a range prior, but that's fine. Eventually, one of these two things will happen. This will put in new highs, or it will go down to there in probably the second wave. So we'll be looking for something like that to happen. So that's my analysis on Aussie CAD, guys. But I'm not committed to the short. As I said, this could absolutely nullify that. If we got something like that, then I'm a bull. Trading it is very, very difficult, however, because we're close to the highs. So yeah, definitely the preference is to find this level and trade it short. And I'll certainly be looking for that. If not today, when I wake up in the morning and it's Friday and I've got to go back home tomorrow. We've been on holidays for a couple of weeks and back home it is for me tomorrow. And yeah, I may not get time to look at the charts. I'll be a bit like you today, Ash. I'll probably have to stay awake till the wee small hours and see if I can find something. Now, is that all we're up to? I think I'll have a quick look again. We've got a market that's not doing too much, guys. It's kind of up and down. Aussie CAD, we've done. Everyone's interested in Aussie CAD. Towards monthly, our potential is good. We can wait. Ah, sweet, you're onto it. Awesome. So I didn't see that before. Yeah, Swee's saying exactly what I just went through. Excellent. Pound CAD chart we've done. Aussie CAD. Mistake. Yep, cool. All right, so we are up to date. Now I might just share what I'm looking at, if that's okay. And my watch list, hang on, I've got to turn the light on. It's just turned dark here. There we go. And see what my watch list actually is. Now, Pound CAD was one of them. On Sunday, we were looking to trade Pound CAD short. And then we turned it around and started analysing it long, but I'm not in it, so no cause for concern there. Euro Swiss, still looking for this one. And my bias, of course, is long. You might have gathered by the look of that chart that we are having problems getting through the monthly pivot and sustaining anything below the box range that we've got in our chart as well. Again, one of two things is going to happen. We're going to bounce off this eventually. And I say eventually because look at the amount of time we've spent here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So that's 2 days. Or we could have looked there and said 2 days. So something's going to give eventually. We've got a little trade line to trade here. If we get a bounce and a retest, that would look interesting. We've got an untested weekly pivot. It is Thursday. So if the weekly pivot is to be tested this week, then maybe today's the day, maybe tomorrow's the day. But if we're just patient and look for that higher low, then I think we'll be in good shape come later today or tomorrow, trading this long back to the top of the range. We've also got on our list, we had dollar yen. And I said, no, I'm actually not going to share that with you guys because I don't trust the US dollar at the moment. And the bias was long. And that was okay up until yesterday. And then it's come exactly back on us, given us a beautiful bar on the weekly pivot, I've got to say. But look at the resistance ahead. It's untradeable for me, really is. And the dollar index is still deciding what it wants to do around the 93 mark. So I'm happy to stay out of dollar yen. And that really was my initial thought process. You don't need me to tell you the next one. It was Euro Kiwi shorts. And the other was the Aussie trading the box. Now we're bang on the top of the box again. And our stop loss on this order that we placed last week, was it last week? I think that's what it was, is under threat here as they test these highs. But if they come back in, then I'll be willing to put some more on the table for the Aussie short against the dollar. Again, the dollar is very, very fickle. And the only reason I'd be willing to put more on the table here is because I'm safe in this trade. I took half off at TP1 and my stop loss is 50% from where it was. So I'm all good. I can't lose on this trade, so I'm happy to stay where I am. But I would look to trade again if it came back, say underneath the pivots and they gave me the lower high in that vicinity. I think it would be okay. We added to the watch list dollar Swissy long and pound yen short on Wednesday, I think Tuesday, sorry. How are they going? And do we have any trades available to us? Well, we've still got this very patient little entry waiting up here at 91.65 and the stop loss 105 pips below us. And since the beginning of the week, we have had 1, 2, 3. Well, sorry, there's the beginning of the week there. Every single day has been an inside bar, not only on the bar that we're seeking to trade, but also the bar that followed it and the bar that preceded it. So you can see what's happening here. It's just inside bar, inside bar, inside bar. Eventually that will change and this will break out. Where to? No idea. But I'm sticking with that bar of last Thursday. And until we get, even through the news events, I'm okay with that. In fact, that may be exactly what puts us into this trade. But if we go the other way, then it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. As long as we don't have a whipsaw, that's going to be our only danger there. So that's dollar Swissy. We also added one more, I think. CAD Swiss, we know about that one. Pound yen, that was the only other one. And we were looking to play that short. And I think to a certain degree, still looking to play that short. But as you can see, we've now gone way out of the top of the range. Maybe we've got another range that we can look at here. In fact, I might move that up into that vicinity. Okay, so still looking to play this short. We didn't get the opportunity off the trade line, but now we will, that's no good. Wow, that's really, really flat, that one. But anyway, it's still there. It'll be similar to the top of the range. So if we get above here, come back underneath and retest that level, then we will look to play this short. Guys, you are less than 1 pip away from taking TP1 on the pound, and you're still less than 1 pip away. It's not moving. It just needs to go up a little bit more to 132.22, and that would be time to take your TP1. I'll just keep your eye on that because it's getting very, very close. And that really was the watch list. You wanted me to have a look at dollar swing. Okay. There you go, guys. Take TP1 on pound. And move your stops 8 pips from entry. So your stop loss should now be at 1. You know, get my control thing out of the way. 132.06 is where your stop should be. And I have just done that. Okay. $132.06. Right. So dollar sing. Haven't had a look at a dollar sing chart for a while. Have I got one? There it is. Ooh, okay. That looks a bit deadly, doesn't it? All right. What I think and what I can trade are mostly two different things. And that's the case here because I can see this falling away quite rapidly and with some intent. If you have a look at all these bars that have driven this down, they're very, very decisive, more decisive. So there's some real intent here. But the issue, I'm sure you'll recognize, is that proximity to the lows here is pretty poor. And we've just gone through that one, or have we? We haven't had a close below it. And we're pretty close to that one as well, which is between DS1 and DS2. We have had a daily pivot test. That's genuine. I could trade in here, but I'd need to see something that would convince me it's ready to go. I'm almost convinced because that's bearish, that's bearish, that's bearish. And I do think we will take on these lows, but it could happen in this bar, in which case it's then too late for me to get in. I can't get in here. So I need a pullback pretty quickly. And if we were to do that, then we'd be okay. So I'd wait for a pullback before I got in. I just can't jump in here. It's as simple as that. But looking extremely bearish. That's the 4-hour chart. The daily charts is pretty much exactly the same. Wow, it's gone a long way, hasn't it? This looks like the next leg, I've got to say. One and a half, 2. Yeah, there may be another one on offer here, you think. But again, you know, the dollar is so fickle at the moment, and I'm expecting the dollar to rally. I may have to rethink that if I was to trade it. But it's certainly looking extremely bearish. I'd have to say that. But good luck getting in. That's going to be your issue, I feel. Righto. Okie doke. That's caught up, I think. And we've got 10 minutes to the top of the hour. I'll briefly go through the 30-minute charts in a bit. Ash, how are you doing? How's your trade going?
Trade is floating around, mate. It is just I mean, it's trying to move to the upside right now, but I'm pretty comfortable with it. I think that, you know, there should well be some weakness, and it's a specific play. This, you know, we're just sort of we're just trying to play the fact that people would potentially I think be unlikely to kind of like make positive decisions before a such an important speech. So we're at the top of the range, if you like, on a short-term basis, at the top of a 5-minute range or so. So it's just moved just above our price point, but as I say, pretty comfortable with it, man. I'm gonna just gonna leave it where it is and see what happens with it. The FTSE currently still around about 70% of stocks in negative territory. So there's no major reason to kind of be too concerned here. We're on like short-term timeframes, which I'll just quickly show you. And this is natural to kind of be looking at a chart like this and thinking, this is just looking wrong. This is our price point here. It has gone above our price point, and maybe it does come in and take the high out. I don't know, but if we look at this on some of the longer term timeframes, there's probably quite a lot of points of, there's a few points of resistance here, but it just looks to me a little bit sticky. The only thing that may happen is that maybe we come in, get stopped out before it does just float back down again, and possibly this is the lower end of the range. But it looks like the upper end of the range is here, and on short-term timeframes, as I say, it always looks concerning when price pops up, but there's not really a lot to suggest that we're going higher today. So I think this looks okay to me. If we look at this on a 15 and just draw a trend line over there, it looks like it would get caged in there at very minimum, which we're saved away from. So it's important really to recognize that yes, we are watching price, but we are also watching the clock. And if it's in this area, within this area, but still away from our stops before the Jerome Powell speech, it would probably be worth cutting this trade. This is really a play before that speech. So we're really watching this, making sure that it makes profit before 2 o'clock. And if it doesn't, then it might be time to close it out if it's worth saving some money on that point. So nothing really to see at this stage, mate. It's I guess doing what it probably is likely to do for a few hours. I think we're likely to see the move happen, if at all, probably between 12:30 and 2, or maybe even slightly later than that, but maybe between 1 and 2. So it's just one of those things that you just got to put on and ignore.
You'll be high on the mountain by then, mate.
Yes, exactly right. And it's not one of those things that I really want to be worrying about while I'm high in the mountain. Well,
no.
Where my feet are going.
CAD's also got news tonight, hasn't it? Yes. And yeah, it could be an interesting evening. We will we'll be looking, of course, at I won't broadcast Chairman Powell's speech on the show tonight because I'm on a very, very tenuous internet connection where I am. But we'll certainly be seeing the results of that live in the show, and hopefully we can be on the right side of it. That would be happy days. The pound will certainly be one of those contenders if we're still in that. And dollar Swissy, I'm not in that yet, am I? No. Aussie dollar. I could be out of that by then, but who knows? So I've got 2 with the dollar in it, potential US dollar Swissy as well. Can't see that happening because we're a long, long way from entry. Right, guys, what's happening? We're got any questions in there? Have a safe trip home. Thank you, Swee. Will do. You've got to go. Have a lovely weekend, Swee, and we'll catch up with you next week. I think I'm just about done anyway, mate. I don't think.
Yeah, well, we've also got a very quiet Monday, remember, here, because it's a bank holiday Monday weekend. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
We that's right. We're going to do the US. I was going to do the US show, wasn't I? Yes, I'll do the US show.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be here, mate. I'll be in.
Oh, will you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be in on Monday. I might be travelling back on Monday morning, so I may miss the UK, but there's not going to be anything going on anyway. But I'll definitely be back by the the US show.
All right, look, guys, I might pop in and just say hi in the UK show, and just if there is something happening, then I'll just deal with it. If not, we'll probably have a quick show, and I'll end it very, very quickly. So don't bother popping in, mate. I'll handle that.
Okay,
that's all good. And we'll call it quits, eh?
Cool.
Go and put your mountain climbing shoes on, buddy.
Sounds good. All right, mate. Nice fun. All right, guys. Well, have a great weekend, and we will see you. Jeff will see you later on, and I will see you next week for the US show on Monday, and we'll see how we're getting on then.
All right, and those of you who we won't see until next Monday, have a lovely weekend, and let's hope you've got some more money in the bank when the next time we see you. Bye-bye for now. See you, bud.
See you, mate. Have a good one.